Greetings, I am Laz.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together. Alright, so join us for this experience wherein Kayla is being incredibly insensitive.
With this cute craft music, by the way, in the background.
What we've got is Kayla having a completely different experience with herself and going, social status. And we have Bern going, I've been assaulted.
Oh.
My God. And this adorable craft music in the background of, here's how you fold origami, here's how you perk up your sad plants, this is, a little delicate pinwheel for your garden. So I associate this particular music with, like, charming little, like, painting tutorials, and those little things where they do those little jump cuts between here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3.
Yes!
And
or the 5-minute crafts, which is a complete hack, by the way. So if you guys know anything about 5-minute crafts and you actually watch people break that stuff down, it's actually really interesting, especially like food scientists or people who are like bakers who know about how that stuff works, and you're just like,
it's true. Anyway, I say, but this one just makes me think of, like, here's the construction paper, pip, and now it's a shape. Here's the paint, here, pip, now it's a color. Here's the straw, pip, now it's a tag.
Do this thing, snip, 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 poof, snip, 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 poof. You know, it happens about,
Or they just lay down paper and scissors, and then there's a poof, and the paper is cut.
Oh yeah, I love stuff like that.
Like, that's what this music is for me.
It looks cool, though. I will own up to it.
Oh, it's very
visually, it's very
and as a visual art, it is fun to watch. It's not informative, but it is fun to watch.
And it's actually, in lots of cases, very misleading or, like, misdirects, or actually has led to literally people actually being hurt. So please, do your research before you ever try to imitate any of the crap they do in 5-minute crafts.
Anyway, all right, so, and your first is Jonathan.
Hi.
You scored big, young lady. I am jealous. I am so... God, you are going to be the talk of the school. Oh, my God. Damn.
The thing is also what bugs me is that I don't want to get involved in, like, any weird amount of, like... But to me, it's weird. Because the thing is like, girls or women enjoying sex is not a bad thing.
So again, we're speaking narratively here to a previous... If you haven't seen the whole series up to this point...
Please, go back.
Please go check out, because in this case, what we are talking about is, from Bern's perspective, that's our MC, welcome aboard, the way the writing has framed it is she did not want to and was unable to consent to what happened to her, and was stunned that it happened when she awoke from it.
Right.
So what we're dealing with is assault played off, and also we're getting a very tonal dissonance between these two characters talking to each other, where Bern is going, but this thing, and Kayla's going, yeah, I know, right?
Right. Well,
so we're not saying that women can't enjoy sex, or that sex is bad, or that you can't even drink
or can't have drunk sex,
or anything. What we're saying is, in this case, it is framed as non-con because of an altered state.
Right.
And so we're a little uncomfortable
Which is a thing that definitely does happen, and also can make for an interesting story convention. You bet. Again, where people talk about it going, conflict is interesting.
There's nothing wrong with using that convention. However, for me, it feels very strange that your best friend is immediately insensitive to what your priorities are. On the other hand, if you look at how their friendship has been written so far, and the fact that basically Bern seems to be very much of a kind of like a pushover, but also very sheltered sort of thing.
And also very much like, I'm going to try to please everyone. They're very much people pleaser.
There we go, people pleaser. But also who's like, and when I'm going to rebel, it's going to be in someone else's idea or someone else's way of things. Kayla could be very used to leading this friendship with her own ideas all the way.
Right.
And that normally Bern is just very dragged along in it and excited about that.
I was about to say, it also could be that really Kayla just doesn't understand because they've established, and Kayla goes, because you go along with whatever I say, Bern, it might quite literally be that I think that you've also had the same goal as me, which is to get laid. Which is fine.
Which is to have social prestige and connect to a more popular audience.
Which equals, apparently in her case, of believing that getting laid makes you more prestigious.
Well, laid by someone important.
Yes.
Not just getting laid. Laid by someone valuable and important and socially notable.
Well, she did go, and it was Jonathan, though. So getting laid and then somebody being
I'm worthy of sex, I can get sex, I don't have dry spells. And then, damn, you got a catch.
Right.
You got a badge, you got a sticker.
You got a bad boy.
All right, anyway, so here we go. All right. Young lady,
I shrug. I don't know, Kayla.
All right, look, I don't need to know every single detail of what happened between you and Jonathan last night. Please, just don't regale me.
Okay.
Just let me imagine.
So for me, sometimes, while I have actually, me personally, like, to just kind of out of the story, I've actually had instances where I have thought that of going, like, I don't want to hear about sex with other people, and while I believe that's valid, there's also some of it where I wonder if, one, a lot of it was actually basically a lot of concern or basically fear of not being good enough, not performing well enough, or going like, I don't want to hear about it because sex inherently still on its own is gross or inappropriate. And
unacceptable.
Also
I don't want to hear about you breaking the Christian law.
Right? Even though, like, whenever I heard a lot of serious conversations more about sex, it was something that I heard about when I was older, so over the age of majority, so over the age of 18.
Right.
Which I feel like in some ways, like, as much as it can make for an interesting character thing, I do, again, wish more people would lean into it. That thing where sometimes I'm like, okay, the more of, like, since when we first started, like, playing stuff like Yaoi Beast Boys or any of that, I'm like, fine, you want to have the abusive non-con relationship? Then do it.
That's fine. But dig in. Don't frame it as something else. Or if you are going, this is abusive non-con, but the MC will not understand that, just tag it appropriately.
Right.
Let people know what they're going into.
Right.
We have this person who will not know that they're being abused, and this person who's going to be abusive, and you can enjoy the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's nothing I feel like necessarily inherently wrong with that. It's just the fact that it was startling because that stuff just isn't really discussed. You're kind of like, oh, you're assuming because yaoi means this thing, which is what we actually discussed about in that framing.
We talked about a lot of themes
It
there.
seems like they made the assumption that, well, if you say yaoi, it means this. And I'm like, whoa, you've gone way too far in my experience.
I don't really agree with her expression either, where she's like, I'm so excited for you. Whoa. I stressed if you want to, like, don't tell me. What I care about is you, Bern. If there's something you want to talk about, I'm here for you.
Other than sex?
Well, yeah, that's not that thing last night. I'm just here as your friend, not as your, don't spill details on me.
Thank you, Kayla.
Yeah, don't tell me about your sexual exploits and don't fill me in on details, but I am here for you as your friend for anything else. It's fine.
Again, like, I think this character could be interesting. That's one of the things where like, for me, again, stereotypes. Like, I want this to be better than it is. So it was actually really funny. So a good example of, like, what I'm talking about is, so if you guys want to see something fun, go watch, I think it was our Choices playthrough for the vampire story.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Oh my god, we literally were having the most fun, and I did not. So the reason I'm saying me is because I'm only going from my perspective here. I personally was I had no idea what the hell was going on. I didn't realize that this wasn't a joke. Like, it wasn't trying to be comedic, or it wasn't trying to be ridiculous or silly.
So part of the reason we had so much fun was because my friend thought it was basically satire. It was a parody.
Yeah.
And we had a great time.
And then we went on to a couple other episodes, and I was not into it.
And you went, they're taking this serious. They're playing this straight.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't.
It feels so much like a trope. I can't get it anymore.
Yeah, because it was one of those things of going, oh, I thought you were being self-aware, or, you know, having a lot of fun poking at this and going, you are here for let's do the romance and the hot thing and all the vampires and the blah ha ha.
The nudge, nudge, wink, wink. This is all so ridiculous.
Right? And I'm like, that is a certain genre, but I'm like, it was so on the nose. I didn't realize they were trying to be serious, which was weird. And then this, I'm like, you could do so much with Kayla and this experience of, like, imagine going then hardcore for this, of her going, I don't want to hear about this, whatever. It's like, go into then Kayla as a character. Let's actually spend more time. There's a lot of story you could literally just have with your main character and Kayla.
What I am wondering is if after this very long setup before meeting any of our options, if Kayla mostly disappears like Corey did.
Probably.
That's what I'm wondering. So I would like to see that. But on the other hand, again, while Kayla, from our perspective as readers, is being insensitive here, she, with different priorities, doesn't have any concept of what Bern's going through.
Yes.
Like, that is very clear. It doesn't seem like it didn't feel like to me that she's trying to go, no, just play it good. No, just pretend it's good. No, it's fine. Like, it seemed like she was just like, no, this is great. Oh my God, awesome. Now, what I am seeing, though, is it would be very interesting to see her as a character sort of slowly develop and learn you more as you have to become more of a person. As you become less of basically a vessel that slowly just runs along with other people's current. And then her going, as you develop more personality and more independence, having to get to know you and having more conversations because there's more things to bounce off of because you're out in the bigger world, you know? And it would be very interesting to go, we've never had these conversations before, and Bern going, but this thing is on my mind. And then Kayla kind of brushing it off sometimes and then going, you've never talked about this kind of stuff before, ever. And then maybe admitting, I never have either. It normally just works out.
Last night was fun, and I had so much fun with Jonathan.
I mean, you did before he took you back to the room.
Yeah, which
really
is true.
had a great amount of fun.
I had so much fun with Jonathan, and then it kept going.
And so
I managed to get away.
I think this is just sort of making a list in your own head of what happened.
I just don't remember much about it. That's
all. Wow, did you
oh my God,
dive into a pool of alcohol or something?
So again, some people are actually...
How much did you drink? Are you okay?
Right? There's also the thing that some people are actually, that we've talked about this before, are actually sensitive to certain types of alcohol, so you do have to kind of be careful.
Yes.
In relation to, especially because they all come from different sources. You have your wheats, you have your grains, you have your fruits, you have different types.
You have honey.
Yep, you have honey needs. You have various different things that you do need to kind of watch yourself. Like, I actually knew some people who would be like, I specifically cannot drink this thing will just mess me up no matter what I do.
I found that I'm allergic to agave plants.
Yeah, actually.
And you go, and everyone goes, yeah, drink this, and you're like, no, I can't.
The answer is no.
That's made from blue agave, and fuck off.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anyway.
Pool of alcohol.
Or something?
I just can't remember anything at all. Not even whatever it was that I drank.
What I kind of have
convenient.
is this vague idea of... I think I had fun, but I don't remember anything. It sounds like she's editing her story as she goes along.
Yeah, but she really did have this thing.
I had so much fun with Jonathan, and then going, well, I guess I don't remember that much. Well, I guess I don't remember anything. It sounds like a little bit like her shelving it as she's going along with Kayla, going,
and realizing Kayla doesn't care. She's not allowed to talk about it.
And yeah, I know. I realize you're not engaged. I realize this isn't a topic to discuss. So I'll just say I don't remember. I'll just try to convince myself I don't remember.
Imagine though, us while I love that. That is so awesome. I do not believe the story is going to go that way at all, which is sad. Again, so as if you're going to be doing writing, honestly, again, where I was completely serious.
Yes.
Just the two interactions with these two characters could be fascinating because you're basically then dealing with very different worldviews of going like, I just always have my friend who seems basically, they don't even realize how much of a pushover basically that your friend is, and the other one going, she just kind of controls my life, and that's okay, and that's what I'm used to though. Everybody sort of
She always has so many good ideas. She's always so proactive. I love that.
Right?
And you're going, they're always on, they're great to bring to anything. They always bring so much fun. They're always entertaining to bring anywhere.
Right.
And you don't think about what your dynamic is. A lot of friendships don't think about what their dynamic is.
Yeah.
And in the same way that I've talked about losing suspension of disbelief in a book or in a movie and not knowing why, it just suddenly happens. I've seen a lot of friendships or like social acquaintances suddenly hit a point of like dissonance where it could be equated to a suspension of disbelief being lost, where there's suddenly I'm uncomfortable with you, or the magic isn't working.
Yeah.
The thing's not happening. What is it?
Right.
And what it is they finally run into a scenario or a situation where one of them is no longer in the same role that they used to be in the friendship. Wherein, if you have a friend where one of you is usually really proactive and you're just happy to go along with their energy, and then suddenly they're in a position where you're in charge of them, they can be like, wait a second, it feels weird. And they won't go, I normally tell you what to do. Most people and characters aren't that self-aware.
Oh, yeah.
They just go, something feels super weird. Today you were so weird. Like it just felt super off. All day today you've been weird.
Right? And they go,
Or
like,
all
what is
day
your
today
problem?
I felt out of place. You know, they just, everything felt stupid. It was never any fun.
You're usually the top. What happened?
And the thing is again, there's not usually a good label for that.
Right.
It's just usually going, I've suddenly felt this aggressive dissonance in our friendship, relationship, acquaintance, even dating experience.
Yeah.
And I don't have a label for it. So it can be really good to go, when this happens, try and think about what happened.
Right.
And also going, do I know what this friendship dynamic really is, or this even relationship dynamic is? Is it normally we hang out on the weekends and we work all week and don't see each other, and suddenly we both have essentially a spring break at our jobs, or we decide to take a vacation together and we're driving each other fucking nuts, and we don't know why. I loved them, and then we went on a trip together, and oh my god, I hate them.
Right.
And you have to think about what that dynamic looks like. Anyway.
Yes, and it's actually been, shockingly, a thing that you and I have experienced even on our own sometimes, of being like, this worked really great, and then we've gotten in arguments about things and going, wait, what are we arguing about?
And one of the things we talked about in reference to building this YouTube channel and learning to work together is that neither of us is used to leading our friends.
Yes.
So while I can do leadership quite well in a group and in a business and things like that, and with strangers, with my friends, because I don't think of us as having that kind of power dynamic unless they actively submit to my leadership in a very clear kind of arena, such as, we're going to build a fence together, we're waiting for you to direct us.
Right.
Like it's a very clear box that way, or you're going to help me, you've come over here to help me paint this room. I'm going to tell you what I'm expecting, and I will tell you also what kind of direction. And you can go, no, I'll just handle this wall, or yeah, anytime you see something you don't like, let me know.
Right.
And that kind of thing, so we make it very clear. Otherwise, I'm not comfortable directing my friends. And we've run into that a lot here.
Yeah.
Going, who's in charge, who's directing this channel, and just trying to find that space where both of us normally work alone on everything.
Yeah.
So building teamwork together amongst equals as friends, and then trying to do division of labor has been an experience.
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
and not even whatever it was that I drank. But there's something else. What?
I
I don't want to be his girlfriend.
feel like you might think...
Wait.
That doesn't
What?
follow at all.
That didn't follow. I'm sorry. What? Having sex. Okay,
So maybe
again.
Kayla was implying that since you had sex with him, you have bag.
You have landed the dude, maybe?
Which he didn't sound like that kind of dude at all.
At all.
I've had my eye on you. That doesn't sound like I'm trying to flirt with you, I'm trying to date you.
It sounds like I'm just trying to get you in a corner and trying to get in your pants, yeah.
Like, and that they could be interpreting that differently. But to me, I don't want to be his girlfriend, doesn't follow at all. But Kayla seems to be on that same page and going, you don't? Huh? Like that face of what? Why not?
So that, again, like I said, this would be really interesting, like culturally also going like, what experience you seem to be having here then is going that if you have sex with someone, you're having a relationship with someone, period. I've actually known lots of people who have that basically mentality going, but we had sex, why this thing? There's also actually even a stereotype of it very strongly associated with women, that women go, if you have sex with me, that means we're having a relationship. And I've heard at least men mostly complain about it. I'm assuming most of them are cis. I'm going like, oh my god, I had sex with this girl one time and she just fucking will not leave me alone. And I told her it was just this thing and I'm like, did you really though?
And sometimes people do that. They go, okay, well this is just casual. So one thing that I'm just gonna try and address really quick here is, from a lot of the women that I have known, or even a lot of them, like people that I have known, whatever their gender is, when they're having that experience, when they've come and confided in me, because I'm that person that people confide in, weirdly, for no reason.
You're like, what?
Like, nobody will tell me casual gossip, nobody will tell me the dirt or the tea, but when their life is wrecked and they're in pain, they will come to me. Yep. Like, I will have people come to me with
lies has the answer.
Profound things.
I have watched people go out of their way from other parts. So this is literally where we went and we worked together. I would watch people that literally had nothing to do with our shift be like, I waited to talk to you.
And I waited to talk to you about something really personal and super important to me.
Yes.
Like, I would have the kind of thing when I was young that people wouldn't talk to me about sex because you're that innocent one, which is just my face, really. I just look cute to some people, or really young to some people.
Yes.
Like, I've had people say that before, but you just look so innocent. And I don't know that that's an attractive thing.
And it was one of my favorite things, though, to just be like, and then my friend would talk about sex, and then they would just sort of stare at her.
I'm so confused. My morality doesn't make sense. But anyway, so it would be this thing where I had friends that would never talk to me about their boyfriends or their girlfriends. They would never talk to me about their relationships or sexual activity or anything. But then, like, they'd be, do you know, like, when they thought they might have a urinary tract infection, or they thought they might have some kind of sexual disease, they would immediately be completely like, do you know about this? Do you know what this is? Tell me the science. You have all the facts, my nerd friend, and I know that you will have an answer for this. And I'm like, that is incredibly personal, given that we've talked about nothing in relationship to your body, your sexuality, or anything. But so apparently I just do that to people. They're just like, I feel like I can tell you really important things. Not frivolous things, not close friend things, but like, you are that person I can trust.
You're also that person that vaguely, for me, I always thought was kind of like a thing of going like, oh, you're a woman. And now that, because you're so cute, now I can just unload really heavily personal things without actually having to be intimate with you.
The experience that I have had from that, where somebody goes, I told them what this was, and now they're super clingy, or they just won't accept me, and now we're doing this, and now they won't date me, we had sex, is when I break it down with them, when I help them parse it out, it is generally yeah, we both agreed it was going to be casual, but then it got so intense, so it clearly wasn't. So the thing is when a lot of people agree that I've encountered to have casual sex, it'll be just sex and nothing else, then what happens is if the other person gets a certain amount of intense, or a certain amount of infection, or a certain amount of really into it, or really like I stayed with them for the entire weekend, then one party will go, yeah, but we agreed it was casual, so it's still casual. And the other party will go, but the following behavior doesn't fit in my casual wheelhouse, so it's now something else, even though we haven't discussed it.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. Anyway.
Interesting.
All right, don't want to be his girlfriend.
I don't want to be his girlfriend.
What? Did Jonathan confess to you?
Shh, keep it down, for heaven's sake.
I mean, he did say he liked you and had been watching, like, he'd been watching you for a long time. Is that what that was supposed to be?
What? So I don't remember anything, but now we're going to have a thing that you're going to tell the player that there was a thing that Jonathan told the character off screen that we didn't get to fucking see. Again, crap like this bugs me, because I'm like, you're trying to make it secretive, but I'm like, we're in their head.
Also, the experience of going, him saying, I've had my eye on you for a while, is that confessing? To the writers, is that confessing? And it did happen right on screen, where he said, I've been basically watching you, I've been thinking about you. Is that him confessing?
Honestly, though, I love the fact that apparently between the writers and ourselves, our reaction is going, what he wanted to do was just a bone.
Yes.
And to them, they go, no, relationship. And I'm like,
or maybe,
where have you lived? That would be great.
I feel like we're going to have to get a little bit further to figure it out, but I also feel like they might just drop it right away. So just tell me. And also going, if we can't remember, how would we remember that?
No, he didn't confess anything.
Okay. Then why do you think you're going to be his girlfriend? It is our naivety coming through. Hang on. It is our naivety coming through. They're actually confirming that Burn's super naive.
and has very little education.
And that is not nearly as worldly as her friend Kayla. They're confirming it again. So that's actually a good piece of writing there. Based on what we've built up so far.
Yes, or a thing of going like, you're just so dumb, boys don't ever want you, and that sex is always just free or whatever. Like, again, that's weird. Like, there's a couple ways you could go with this. This isn't, to me, just strictly hooking up doesn't mean you're not gonna have a relationship. It's also like, there's some people who really do go, we had sex, we are in a relationship, and they never talk about it.
Right.
Like, I've heard that one too. And it's like,
we may have been dating for 5 years, but I don't know because we never discussed it. At this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
I feel like that was me for 9 years.
All right, anyway.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you have any opinions or ideas, please feel free to like or comment or share. Yeah, so share them down below. Feel free to also, like, share our videos if you want to, like, start a conversation maybe with somebody yourself, because this can be really
Or
complex.
if you want to know somebody else's opinion, going, all right, guys, I've got an opinion, they've got an opinion, what's your opinion?
What you think, bro?
We want the opinions.
Yes, absolutely. And also, if you want to support us or potentially sponsor a game, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below.
Yep.
But other than that, though, I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!